Thank you for the invitation for considering I could bring something valuable to this conference. Thank you for being here and not in a parallel session. I really appreciate that. And, and thank you to the guys back there that are making the video and technology and audio experience really good. And we never can get that for granted. So an applause to them. So this is the plan. I'm going to start with the motto of this conference, and then I want to make the case that the Agile can learn from internet culture, well, and the other way around. But since we are in an Agile conference, we're going to talk about what Agile could learn from the internet culture if we together can do so much, right? And then finally, I talk about two concrete methodologies that I think that are not very well known in the Agile community, that I think that can help to take this strategy of learning from the internet culture. So the first thing is, when I read the question is, the sentence is, together we can do so much, is, who is this we, and what is this so much, right? Because it's not evident, right? And I want you to pay attention to what this guy posted like about a year ago, saying, "Dear Gal, I'm tired of pretending." And I say, here's a quiz for you. How does the first line of the Agile Manifesto begin? No peeking. Don't know? That's fine. It doesn't matter. It says, we are uncovering better ways of developing software. Stop. Notice it says developing software. And then it does not say leaning on your organization, taking down transformation debt, cutting it out with the command and control crap, and so on and so on. And you may not agree with him, but I think he has a point. I think that, because he says, the thing is, when people say that Agile pertains to the whole organization, it's revisionist history. And again, I don't think, maybe you think, I don't think he's totally right, but I think he's making a point. So do we actually need to pretend? I don't think so. I mean, I believe in transdisciplinarity. I think that engineers can say something about how to run organizations, how to run projects. I don't see nothing wrong in that. It's true. It's true that the closer you, the more you step, Agile steps into management, the more it risks to fall in the flourishing industry of management bullshit. Okay. And I'm a management scholar, so I know what I'm talking about. Do we actually use bread? No. But I think it's fine. I think, sorry. I think that he's honest, and it's okay to just think that his job is just run and develop good software. And I don't think so. I want to tell you anyway that I know a software company which is entirely agile. They're self-managed. Everything is self-managed. And yet they experience great frustration because their clients are not. They're frustrated because they say, oh, if our clients would be agile, we would deliver much more value in less time, with less money. This is killing me. So even that way, even if your whole company is not agile, it's agile, the rest of the world isn't. So you still experience this frustration, right? I want to tell you about one idea about doing so much together. Is what if we treat the rest of the organization and the world, for that matter, as internal clients or allies? That means this we is not just we, the team. is not just we, the Agile community. Why don't we think that this we is the team, the Agile community, and all the allies that they can find around, right? And I think that it makes sense, because I know someone that's the internet culture is doing that all the time. And I think that the Agile culture could do the same. And I'll tell you why. I think that internet is a culture, and I have you can search on YouTube an explanation, a talk I delivered a year ago about this subject, but I think it's a culture, mostly, okay? And I've been researching this culture in organizations, in digital native organizations, and I presented my results in FINE conference, international conference. I do applied research with my friends, like Ingrid here, and then I bring the results of my research to actual organizations and complex organizations and companies, okay? And I want to go really quick through this, okay? But this is 4 values that I think the internet culture is defined by. There's abundance, plurality, generativity, and bricolaging. And since they are a little bit weird words, you have another words here that are in the more or less same semantic field that let you understand what I'm talking about when I say these words, right? And how many of these values do you think that apply to the Agile culture? I think all of them. Don't you think? Don't you agree? I mean, this is not the values, but you know, they're coherent. I mean, they're not contradictory with Agile. I think they match pretty much. And what about the other way around? How many of these ideas of the Agile Manifesto apply to the internet culture? Think about the open source movement, for instance. You think about it, I think all of them applies. So I think they are not the same thing, but they can learn from each other because they have lots in common. And actually they're doing that. I mean, the internet culture learns from Agile, is learning from Agile, and the other way around. It's happening now. So I'm just proposing to do this a little bit more. So, for instance, let's take the individuals and interactions of our processes and tools. Once we go beyond our team, our Agile team, and we go to the organization, it's so cold out there. It's so cold because processes and tools are very important for the organization. Don't you think? They're important. And we have to be aware that there are different logics in the organization, that they are not Agile, but they are this way for a reason. Okay? So, well, I don't know if you know this Alan Grant research about givers and takers. Givers is people that gives more than takes, and takers are people that takes more than gives. And matchers is people that more or less want to balance what they take and what they give. You create a lot of abundance in the teams, and you have experienced that if everyone wants to give more than receives, the magic happens, right? You have experienced that. But you can expect to have people around you that are givers too, because they're kind of like Agile, that they make sense to them, or for whatever reason. We're going to talk about this now. So you can have givers or at least matchers. And you have to find probably in the rest of the world the three positions, right? So how can we find allies? Okay, how we can find allies to do so much more together? Okay, These are 4 functions that I've seen in organizations that have the internet culture in its core. Okay? The first is generation of conversational communities. I think that Agile teams would benefit from sustaining interesting conversations. The key word here is interesting conversations with all the key stakeholders of the organization. Okay, and the point of having interesting conversations is that everything, if you think about it, everything happens in interesting conversations. You find new ideas in interesting conversations. You find partners in interesting conversations. You find future co-workers in interesting conversations. Sometimes you find providers, and so on. Everything happens in interesting conversations. So if you're having an interesting conversation, you're not losing your time. Okay? And those are conversations, I put it here, that they don't have to have a goal, you know? You don't have to have an expectation of what's going to be about this, because you never know. Maybe it's going to happen one day after or 2 years after the conversation. So, because they were interesting. And something that happens in these conversations is that you don't realize that you're co-creating commons and open value. Because I think that in companies and processes and tools and frameworks, they don't pay attention to something that I call the intangibles, deliverables. The intangible deliverables are any kind of informal knowledge exchanges and benefits that build relationships and keep things running smoothly. They can be strategic information, collaborative design, plans, processes, business contacts, image enhancement, reputation, recognition, okay? That things are important. They are not in the processes. They are never in the process. They're not in the job descriptions. But they're super important. They are super important, especially if you want to finalize those things together. Okay? The third thing is the federation of competencies, which means that people should leverage on the concrete assets and skills of the members and of the allies. Okay, you can do more if you have allies and you recognize they have a skill and a competency, and you let them do, okay, with you. And finally, this internet culture that I've seen in these organizations, they have a continuous redesign of tools and protocols. They're always thinking about how they can work better by improving their tools, their protocols, their processes if you want. Okay? And this is very, very interesting because you can go really far with this. I want to tell you about Christopher Kelty. He's an anthropologist. He has this fantastic book called 2 Bits. And he has studied the open source community. And he says that it's more than a community, it's a recursive public. And by a recursive public, he means that a public that is vitally concerned with the material and practical maintenance and modification of the technical, legal, practical, and conceptual means of its own existence as a public. He says, it's a collective independent of other forms of constituted power and is capable of speaking to existing form of power through the production of actually existing alternatives. This is very academic. But what he says is, if you as a community, you think about, as the open source community, we can create our own licenses. They don't exist. This is something legal that doesn't exist, we're going to make it. We're going to make lobby in governments. They do that. So how ambitious you can be when you say you can do things together, right? So now I go very quickly to 2 methodologies that can help you to do what I said, okay? To finalize and to work with them, okay? To accomplish more as Agile. This is Christian Fauvet's Sociodynamics, and he says that in every change you want to do in an organization, in any transformational process, you will find antagonism and synergy. Does that make sense to you? You have antagonism is I don't want this, I don't want to do anything with you, I'm against it. Synergy is, oh, I want to cooperate, that makes sense to me, I want to do things with you, and I think your intentions are good. Okay? But the interesting thing about the Fauvet's Sociodynamics is that synergy and antagonism coexist all the time. They are together in the organization. So it's not that you have this binary thing that I have resistance and I have followers and this binary thing. No, he says it's more complex than that. Okay. So if we think, if we pay attention first with the level of synergy, he says let's take 4 levels. You know, the first level is like, okay, I have low synergy. I mean, I'll do it, but you know, whatever. Okay. The second level of synergy is, oh, that sounds interesting. I'm not very enthusiastic, but it sounds interesting. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, why not? The third is one that says, oh, I think this is cool, and I have some ideas that I could move forward. What do you think? So it's a little bit proactive, okay? But if he's not backed, he's gonna say, oh, okay, well, whatever. Again. And the highest level of synergy is when someone that sees the idea, you know, Agile, falls in love and is going to support you no matter what. Okay? Can you recognize this different level of synergy? Okay. Now let's move to antagonism. Okay? Antagonism of the first level is it's the same. I don't see it. I mean, I don't see it, but okay, wait, let's do it. Okay, but that's it. So the second level of antagonism goes a little bit farther. It's like, what can I get from this? I don't know. You know, I'm going to push to see if they. But then he's going to do it anyway, okay? He's going to push very strongly. I mean, I'm antagonist, I don't see it, but yeah, I'm going to express a little bit, you know, but I'm going to do it anyway. And the third level of antagonism, you see that people that express strongly opposition. They express strongly opposition, they say they're not going to do it, I'm against this, but when you push and you move your power to change that, they're going to come back and they're going to align because, you know, okay, I'm not going to pay a price to be against this, okay? And then you have the highest level of antagonism, which is I'm not going to do it, no way. I'm just not going to do it. What is this crap, Agile crap? I'm not, fire me if you want. I'm not going to do it, okay? This is the kind of antagonism you can find as well, okay? So what happens when you put together antagonism and synergy, okay? You have this matrix. This is fun because I looked for this is originally in French. Deusto translated in Spanish, so this is the books I have. But I looked for one in English because the talk was in English, and looking for this, I only found this book, which is a software engineering book, which is fun because Sociodynamics is not particularly about software. And it's about a book about managing sensitive projects. As if in software there wouldn't be all sensitive projects, right? But anyway, so you can see here that when you have low synergy and low antagonists, you have these passive people. But don't label people anyway. Don't label people too quickly because people can move. Okay? But at the beginning, let's say that they're passive, but it's not really negative. and I'm going to talk about this. Because they're gonna do the work, okay? They're not gonna be productive, but they're going to be what they're told, okay? And I think that's important, and I think we have to respect that, okay? Then we have what they call the weavers here. This people that is leaning in between synergy. You see, it's half. I'm in between synergy and antagonism in different levels. Okay, so they're gonna balance towards one or the other, depending on what they can get from this. Okay, so you can deal with them. You can offer them things to meet their interest, their particular interest, to get them on board. Okay. Because one of the insights of the Christian Fauvet Sociodynamics is that an ally is not someone that is with you. It's someone that is not against you. Okay? You see the difference? So if someone is just passive but let you do things, he's an ally. Okay? So you can look at all the allies on the upper side of the matrix, and you can see that these zealots is people with a lot of synergy and not antagonism. Okay, so they're enthusiastic and they're going to follow you and they're going to do everything. Okay, so maybe you can accompany them to curb their enthusiasm. Okay, but look at what they call the golden triangle. The golden triangle is people with a lot of synergy and a quite remarkable antagonist, which means that you're going to get people that is going to work with you and is going to give you a critical perspective, a critical feedback, a constructive feedback. Okay, I mean, I work with you, but I don't see this, and I don't think this is working. Or I think we should change that. And they're the golden triangle because they're very valuable. To have a critical perspective and not just blind followers that follow you, that's very important too. And I want to tell you finally about the opponents. Because what Sociodynamics says is that we spend most of the time talking to dealing with opposition, with resistance, with people that are against our transformational change, right? And the Sociodynamics says don't spend more than 1/3 of your energy with opponents. Don't spend more than 1/3 of your energy in opponents. Spend at least 2/3 of your energy with your allies. Okay? And we know that from the internet culture. You don't feed the troll, right? If someone is an opponent and has a legitimate claim, meet their needs. I mean, that's okay. If there's someone that is going to be against you no matter what, don't lose your time with these people, okay? Is that you better work a little bit with your opponents to see if they can move to a more passive position or a more interest position, so you can try to deal with them, okay? I think that this is a very good. I mean, it's much more rich than that because I only have a few minutes, but I want you to take to look at this methodology because lets you think in terms of the political situation of the organization and the different and contradictory logics and interests that you're going to find them, and you want to deal them because people are not machines that you can code with culture. Okay, people is people. Okay, so you have to deal, and you have to deal it finding your allies and working together in the organization. Okay. The other methodology I want you to pay attention to is Verna Allee's value network analysis. Value network analysis is precisely what I talk about, is finding these allies. Now you find your allies, no? And you have to be, and you have to spend time with them and your energy with them. What does it mean? You have to exchange value with them so they keep working with you, okay? So value network analysis is about finding the roles, not the position, the job position, the roles that these allies play in your value mapping, in this thing you're doing together, okay? And when you identify these roles, you have to identify the deliverables. You know, you have some activities between you, and you have some deliverables between the roles, okay? And there are two kinds of deliverables, as I told you about. The first is the must, what you're expected to do, okay? Let's say that you have the role of the people that is hiring talent for your team, okay? There are some things that they expect from you, like when you're going to do vacations, what do you want for your team, whatever, okay? So this is what you want to do. But there are other intangibles, as I said before, that they are not expected. You are not obliged to do them. But if you do them, you get some credit and some synergy, okay? You smooth the relationships. So when you exchange, this is an example of a postgraduate school in a university. When you map all the value between the different roles and you assess how good or how bad are they working, you can smooth and paying attention particularly not only those that are expected, but others that are not expected, but add value, okay? Then you work really well with your allies, and you create a system of givers, of people that want to give because they are your allies, okay? Does it make sense to you? So the first is map what is the social dynamic in your organization or your ecosystem, okay? That's first. Who's your ally, who's your opponent, and what kind of allies you have, okay? How can you play with them, okay? And once you do that, you move to the value mapping and you find the deliverables that can help you to keep this alliance strong and productive. Does that make sense to you? And I don't see, generally, I don't see people doing this in organizations, regular organizations. But the organizations that I researched, those that copies the internet culture, they do this. And I took these methodologies because I showed them these methodologies. So when you're doing this, you're basically doing this, no? And they told me, yes, Tony, this is it. This is fantastic. We're doing this intuitively, you know, we're doing this. But this is a systematic way to express what we're doing. So these methodologies are validated for the people I researched, okay? And they consider, and they're really good. I mean, I studied them because they're very successful. They're very successful making money. They're very successful as an activist doing advocacy, etc. So. Well, Ingrid told me about something that we are researching now, and we're not. I have documented it yet, but if you're curious, I published in this academic journal an example of how can you do this, okay? But we're playing with the gods of the Olympic, the Greek gods, okay, and goddesses, okay. And because they work as a system. If you see them, the 12 gods that run the world, they work as a system. It's a systemic thinking that is, and it's traditional wisdom, okay? And this is, I don't have documented it, but it's open source. Those are 200, 300 years old stories. Okay, it's available to you, and we're playing, and because we like these gods because they do things. They're in charge of different things. He's in charge of justice and good distribution. She's in charge of alliances and loyalty. She's in charge of communication and coaching. She's in charge of beauty and attraction and so forth, production, the next. And if you see the stories between them, and if you see why sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, they're complex. They're not just roles like in regular methodologies and frameworks. They're complex, so you can learn a lot from them. So yeah. And I finished with another post of this guy. I don't know if you know what chaos engineering is. Do you know what chaos engineering is? Anyone? You? Two people, okay. I didn't know what chaos engineering is. But when I saw this title, I thought, oh my god, if this guy can sell something called chaos engineering to his boss or her boss, he's a genius. I mean, he can sell everything, don't you think? Chaos engineering, what manager is going to buy chaos engineering? But he thinks, so I look at him and he was doing pretty much what we were talking about. So this is it. I don't know if you have questions or you find this interesting. Any questions? Any doubts? Can I ask you if you found more interesting the sociodynamics or the value network analysis? Sociodynamics? Okay. And value network analysis? Okay. So you like more sociodynamics. This is interesting. But I tell you what, you need both, okay? You really need both, okay? Because networks, you can see any organization as a network of value. Because if there's no value running in the network, the organization doesn't exist. Okay, so there must be some value in it. Okay, and the more fuzzy is the organization, especially when you go beyond your organization and you want to play with other allies in your ecosystem, in your value chain, then the more sense make this thinking about value that is running in your relationships. Okay, so I know that sociodynamics is really cool. Look for it, learn sociodynamics. It's really cool. But again, once you know your allies, you want to do a value network analysis because especially these intangibles that we never take into account, because the organizations that I see that manage smartly these intangibles are the most successful I've seen. Okay? So, thank you very much.